Let me tell you about the most expensive conversation most people never have. It goes like this. You get a job offer. The number sounds reasonable. Maybe it's even a little exciting. And instead of saying anything, you say, "That sounds great. Thank you so much." Or you've been at your job for 2 years. You're doing good work, maybe great work. Your responsibilities have grown. And the subject of a raise never comes up, because you're not sure how to bring it up, and it feels awkward, and you don't want to seem ungrateful or greedy, or you're a freelancer, and a new client asks your rate, and you say a number and they immediately say yes without blinking, and you realize in that moment you could have asked for more. These moments happen to almost everyone. And the cost is staggering. Research from Carnegie Mellon University found that people who consistently negotiate their salary earn an average of $1 million more over the course of their careers than those who don't. $1 million. Not from working harder. Not from making smarter investments. Just from having conversations most people avoid. Here's the thing. Negotiation is a skill. It is not a personality trait. It is not something you either have or don't have. It is a learnable, practicable set of techniques that anyone, including people who find it deeply uncomfortable, can develop. And in this video, we are going to develop it together. We're going to cover the psychology of negotiation, the research and preparation that makes negotiation possible, specific scripts and language for every scenario, job offers, raises, freelance rates, promotions, and how to handle the objections and awkward moments that make most people back down. By the end of this video, you will have everything you need to walk into any compensation conversation with confidence, clarity, and a real chance of coming out significantly ahead. Let's get into it. Part 1. The Mindset of Negotiation. Chapter 1. Why most people don't negotiate and what it costs them. Before we get into tactics, let's talk about why negotiation is so hard for so many people. Because the barriers are real and understanding them is the first step to overcoming them. Fear of rejection. Asking for more and being told no feels like personal rejection. It activates the same social anxiety as any other situation where we risk disapproval. For many people, the emotional cost of potential rejection outweighs the potential financial gain, even when the financial gain is enormous. Fear of seeming greedy. There's a deeply embedded cultural message, particularly strong for women and people from certain cultural backgrounds, that asking for more money is selfish, impolite, or ungrateful. That good work speaks for itself and shouldn't need to be advocated for. Lack of information. Many people don't negotiate simply because they don't know what they should be earning. Without a clear sense of market rates, it's hard to make a confident case for a specific number. Imposter syndrome. Even highly competent people frequently feel they don't deserve more than they're currently offered. The internal voice says, "Who am I to ask for that? I should be grateful they want me at all." Not knowing how. Negotiation isn't taught in school. Most people have never been shown what to actually say, so when the moment comes, they freeze or default to acceptance. Let's address each of these. Starting with the one that underlies all the others. The belief that negotiation is somehow inappropriate. Negotiation is not greedy. It is expected. Here's what most people don't realize. Employers expect negotiation. When a company makes you an offer, they almost never lead with their best number. They lead with a number that leaves room. The hiring manager who extends that offer has almost certainly been through their own salary negotiations. They know the game. Not negotiating doesn't make you seem grateful or professional. In many hiring contexts, it actually signals a lack of confidence or self-awareness. The candidate who thoughtfully and professionally advocates for fair compensation is demonstrating exactly the kind of assertiveness and business acumen most employers value. And critically, asking for more almost never costs you an offer. Companies do not rescind job offers because a candidate negotiated respectfully. This fear, while understandable, is almost entirely unfounded. Chapter 2. Reframing Negotiation. The most powerful mindset shift in negotiation is this one. Stop thinking of it as confrontation and start thinking of it as collaboration. You and your employer are not adversaries. You're trying to find an arrangement that works for both of you. You bring skills, time, and value. They have a role that needs filling and a budget. Negotiation is the conversation where you figure out how those things align. When you approach negotiation as confrontation where one person wins and the other loses, it feels threatening and zero-sum. Anxiety spikes. You either avoid the conversation entirely or go in aggressive and damage the relationship. When you approach it as collaboration, I want to work here, and I want to make sure we find a number that reflects the value I'll bring, the tone is entirely different. You're on the same side. You're solving a problem together. This reframe is not just psychological comfort. It's strategically effective. Negotiators who approach conversations with curiosity and collaborative intent consistently achieve better outcomes than those who approach with aggression or anxiety. Know your worth and believe it. The most common reason people accept less than their worth is that they don't genuinely believe they deserve more. Imposter syndrome is real, and it costs real money. Here's a practical antidote. Build your case before you need it. Keep a running document, a wins file, or accomplishments log, where you record your achievements, contributions, positive feedback, and measurable results. When you review this before a negotiation, you're not manufacturing confidence, you're reminding yourself of what's actually true. More on this when we get to preparation. For now, the principle: your confidence in negotiation is directly proportional to how well you know your own value. Part 2. Research and Preparation. Chapter 3. Know your market value. Negotiation without data is guesswork. And guesswork almost always results in leaving money on the table. The foundation of every successful salary negotiation is knowing specifically and credibly what the market pays for your skills, experience, and role. Where to research salary data: Glassdoor user-reported salaries by company, role, and location. Large database, but self-reported data has selection bias. Use as one data point. LinkedIn salary, particularly useful for seeing how factors like experience level, education, and location affect compensation. Levels, FYI, best in class for technology roles, particularly at major tech companies. Highly specific and reliable. Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, occupational employment and wage statistics. Government data, comprehensive, but can lag the market. Pay scale, detailed compensation data with skill level adjustments. Industry-specific surveys. Many professional associations conduct annual compensation surveys for their fields. These are often the most accurate source for specialized roles. Recruiters talking to recruiters, even when you're not actively job searching, gives you real-time market intelligence. Recruiters know exactly what roles are paying because they're filling them. Your network conversations with peers in similar roles, even at different companies, can give you the most candid and relevant data of all. Hey, I'm trying to get a sense of market rates for our type of role. Are you comfortable sharing your range? Most people, when asked thoughtfully, are more open to this conversation than you'd expect. Triangulate across multiple sources. No single source is perfectly accurate. Research across at least 3 sources, note the range, and form a view of what the market genuinely pays for your specific combination of role, experience, skills, industry, and location. Be precise. Senior marketing manager in fintech in Austin with 7 years of experience and expertise in paid acquisition will give you different numbers than marketing manager. The more specific your research, the more credible your number. Understand total compensation, not just base salary. In many industries and roles, base salary is only one component of total compensation. Other elements to research and negotiate: annual bonus, target percentage and structure, equity stock options or RSUs, restricted stock units, signing bonus, benefits, health insurance quality, retirement matching, PTO, remote work flexibility, professional development budget, title and career progression opportunities. In some fields, particularly technology, equity and bonus can equal or exceed base salary. Negotiating only on base while ignoring these components is a significant mistake. Chapter 4. Know your numbers: BATNA, target, and reservation price. Before any negotiation, you need to know 3 specific numbers or ranges that will anchor your entire strategy. Your BATNA: best alternative to a negotiated agreement. BATNA is arguably the most important concept in all of negotiation theory, developed by Roger Fisher and William Ury in the landmark book Getting to Yes. Your BATNA is what happens if this negotiation fails. If you don't get this job at the salary you want, what do you do? If your raise request is denied, what are your options? The stronger your BATNA, the stronger your negotiating position. Someone negotiating a job offer while currently employed with two other competing offers on the table, has enormous leverage. Someone negotiating from unemployment with no other prospects has very little. This is why one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term earning potential is to always be mildly job searching. Maintain your network. Stay visible in your industry. Have a rough sense of what you could earn elsewhere. You don't have to be actively looking, but knowing you have options gives you genuine leverage even when you're not using it. Your target, what you're aiming for, your target is your ideal outcome, the number you'd be genuinely thrilled to receive. Based on your research, this should be at or near the top of the market range for your role, but credible and defensible, a common mistake. Anchoring your target to what you currently earn rather than to what the market pays. Your current salary is irrelevant to what the role is worth. Base your target on market data. Your reservation price, your walkaway point, this is the minimum you'll accept before walking away. It should be based on your actual financial needs and your BATNA, not on fear or anxiety. Knowing your reservation price in advance is critical. In the moment, under social pressure, people routinely accept less than they intended to. Having a firm, pre-committed minimum prevents this. The negotiation range. When you enter a negotiation, you're implicitly working within the space between your reservation price and your target. Your opening ask should be at or slightly above your target, giving room to move toward your actual goal while signaling that your goal is at the high end of reasonable. Chapter 5. Building your case. Data is necessary but not sufficient. You also need a narrative, a compelling story about why you specifically deserve the number you're asking for. Document your accomplishments with specificity. Vague claims are weak. I'm a hard worker, and I've contributed a lot, are not negotiating points. Specific, quantified achievements are: I led the project that reduced customer churn by 18%, which at our current revenue translates to approximately $2.3 million in annual retained revenue. I managed the transition to the new CRM system, completing it 3 weeks ahead of schedule and under budget. Since I took over the account, client satisfaction scores have risen from 7.2 to 9.1 out of 10. Numbers. Outcomes. Business impact. These are the language of compensation conversations. Frame your value forward, not just backward. Your past accomplishments justify your current ask. But what will you do going forward? Demonstrating that you understand the company's challenges and have a clear vision for how you'll contribute makes your case even stronger, because you're not just defending what you've done, you're selling what you'll do. Prepare for objections. What reasons might they give for not meeting your number? Budget constraints. Salary bands. Internal equity. Performance review timing. For each likely objection, prepare a thoughtful, non-defensive response. We'll cover specific objection handling later. Part 3. Negotiating a job offer. Chapter 6. The job offer negotiation step by step. You've received an offer. Now what? Step 1. Don't accept on the spot. This is the single most important rule of job offer negotiation. No matter how excited you are, no matter how good the offer sounds, do not accept immediately. You are entitled to time to consider. A simple, gracious response *, thank you so much, I'm genuinely excited about this opportunity. I'd like to take a couple of days to review the full offer. Can I get back to you by specific date? *, this accomplishes 3 things. It buys you time to research and prepare. It signals that you're thoughtful and deliberate. And it creates a moment for them to potentially sweeten the offer before you've even negotiated. Step 2. Get the offer in writing. Before negotiating, get the full offer documented: base salary, bonus structure, equity, benefits, start date, everything. You need the complete picture to evaluate and negotiate effectively. Step 3. Evaluate against your research. Where does the offer land relative to your market research? Is it at the low end, middle, or top of the range? Is the total compensation package competitive when you factor in all components? Step 4. Decide what you're negotiating. Identify the 1 or 2 elements most important to you. Base salary is usually the priority because it compounds. Raises, bonuses, and sometimes equity are often calculated as a percentage of base. But equity, signing bonus, and remote flexibility can be equally or more valuable depending on your situation. Step 5. Make your counter. Here is the core negotiation conversation. There are several effective approaches. The direct approach *, I'm very excited about this role and the team. Based on my research into market rates for this position in City, and given my X years of experience/specific skills/relevant accomplishments, I was expecting something closer to target number. Is there flexibility to get there? Asterisk the range approach asterisk, I'm enthusiastic about joining the team. Based on my research and experience, I was thinking in the range of target to a slightly above target. Can we explore that? Asterisk note, when you give a range, the other party will anchor to the bottom of it. Make sure your range bottom is a number you'd be genuinely happy with. The appreciative approach, for when the offer is close but not quite there asterisk, I really appreciate the offer. This role is exciting to me. The base salary is a bit below what I was hoping for based on my research. I was looking at number. Is there any room to move on that? Asterisk key principles across all approaches, be specific. More is not a number. $95,000 is a number. Be warm but firm. Friendly tone, clear ask. After you state your number, be quiet. Silence is one of the most powerful tools in negotiation. The first person to speak after an offer or counteroffer is made is usually at a disadvantage. Let them respond. Don't justify excessively. One clear, concise rationale is stronger than a long defensive explanation. Chapter 7. Handling their response. After your counter, one of several things will happen. They meet your number. Congratulations. Accept graciously. Asterisk, that's great, I'm really excited to accept and get started. Asterisk they come up, but not all the way. Evaluate whether the new number is acceptable given your reservation price. If it is, you have a decision to make. Accept, or push once more. If you push again, do so gently. Asterisk, I appreciate you moving on that. We're closer. Would you be able to get to split the difference or your target? Asterisk if the number is genuinely as far as they can go, consider whether other elements can be negotiated. A signing bonus, an earlier performance review, additional PTO, remote workdays. They say the salary is fixed/non-negotiable. This is often not true, but sometimes it is. A few approaches. First, ask about other components. Asterisk, I understand the base salary may have constraints. Is there flexibility on the signing bonus/equity/performance review timeline? Asterisk second, ask about timing. Asterisk, is there a standard review process, and if I hit the ground running, would it be possible to have a compensation review at 6 months rather than 12? Asterisk third, get the reasoning. Asterisk, can you help me understand the constraints? Is this a budget issue or a salary band issue? Asterisk understanding the actual constraint helps you find creative solutions. They ask you to name a number first. In an ideal world, you want them to anchor first. But if they press, it's better to give a well-researched number than to seem evasive. Give your target. Asterisk, based on my research and experience, I'm looking for something in the range of X to Y. Asterisk. Chapter 8. Negotiating beyond base salary. If base salary is truly fixed, there's still significant value to negotiate. Signing bonus. One-time payment that doesn't affect salary bands or create ongoing obligations for the employer. Often more negotiable than base for this reason. Asterisk, if the base salary is constrained, would a signing bonus be possible to bridge the gap? Asterisk equity. For startups and tech companies especially, equity can be the most valuable component. Negotiate on grant size, vesting schedule, and cliff. Understand what you're getting before you accept it. Performance review timing. Getting your first review at 6 months instead of 12, with the possibility of a merit increase, effectively gives you a faster path to higher compensation. Remote work. The financial value of not commuting in time, money, and quality of life can be substantial. If full remote isn't offered, negotiating for 2 to 3 days per week has real value. Professional development budget, tuition reimbursement, conference attendance, certifications. These have both financial value and career value. Additional PTO. More time off has direct financial value and significant quality of life value. Often easier to negotiate than base salary. Part 4. Negotiating a raise. Chapter 9. The raise conversation. When and how. Negotiating a raise is a different conversation from negotiating a job offer, and in some ways, a harder one. You're asking someone you already work with to pay you more for work you're already doing. The relationship stakes feel higher. The awkwardness is more immediate. But the principles are the same: preparation, specificity, and a collaborative frame. When to ask for a raise. Timing matters. The best moments after a significant win. You just delivered a major project, landed a big client, or received strong positive feedback. Your value is freshly visible. During your performance review. This is the expected time to discuss compensation, but don't wait passively for the company to offer more. Come prepared to advocate. When your responsibilities have meaningfully grown. If your role has expanded significantly beyond your original job description, that's a legitimate basis for a compensation conversation. When you have a competing offer. A genuine outside offer is the strongest negotiating leverage you can have. Use it thoughtfully, but use it. After market research reveals you're significantly underpaid. This alone is a legitimate reason to ask. The market has moved and your compensation hasn't. When not to ask when the company is in obvious financial distress, right after a significant failure or mistake. In the first few months of a new role, generally exceptional circumstances may warrant it. In passing, without preparation or a proper meeting. Request a dedicated meeting. Don't ambush your manager in the hallway, or tack the conversation onto the end of a regular one-on-one. Request a specific meeting. Asterisk, I'd like to schedule some time to talk about my compensation and career trajectory. Do you have 30 minutes in the next week or two? Asterisk, this signals seriousness. It gives your manager time to prepare. And it ensures the conversation gets proper attention rather than being rushed. Chapter 10. The raise conversation scripts and structure. The structure of a raise conversation. Open by establishing the context. Asterisk. I really enjoy working here and I'm proud of what we've accomplished together. I've been doing some reflection on my contributions and my market value, and I'd like to talk about my compensation. Asterisk. Present your case with specifics. Asterisk. Over the past time period. I've specific accomplishment 1, specific accomplishment 2, and specific accomplishment 3. I've also taken on expanded responsibilities. Based on my research into market rates for someone with my experience and skills in this role, I believe my compensation should be in the range of X. Asterisk. Make the specific ask. Asterisk. I'd like to discuss a salary adjustment to specific number or percentage increase. I'm hoping we can make that happen. Asterisk. Then be quiet. Let them respond. Don't fill the silence with backpedaling or qualifications. You've made a clear, reasonable, well-supported ask. Give them the space to respond to it. What if they say no? A flat no is actually rare. More common responses. Asterisk. That's not in the budget right now. Asterisk. Response. Asterisk. I understand. When would be a good time to revisit this? And what would I need to achieve between now and then to make this happen? Asterisk. Get a specific timeline and specific criteria. Turn a no into a conditional yes with a roadmap. Asterisk. Your performance needs to improve in area first. Asterisk. Response. Asterisk. I appreciate the honest feedback. Can we define what improved performance looks like specifically, so I have a clear target? Asterisk. Convert vague criticism into measurable goals. Asterisk. I need to check with HR/my manager. Asterisk. Response. Asterisk. Of course, I appreciate you advocating for me. When do you think you'll have an answer? Asterisk. Follow up at the specified time without fail. Chapter 11. The competing offer conversation. A genuine competing offer is the most powerful leverage in a raise negotiation. Used well, it can achieve in one conversation what might otherwise take years. Used poorly, it can damage your relationship with your employer or even cost you your job. The golden rule: only use a competing offer if you're genuinely willing to take it. Using a fake or inflated offer as a bluff is a high-risk strategy that can backfire badly. If your employer calls your bluff and you either back down or leave for a job you didn't really want, the damage to your relationship, your reputation, or your career can be significant. How to use a real competing offer. Asterisk. I want to be transparent with you because I value this job and this team. I've received an outside offer for amount or range. I'm not looking to leave. I'd prefer to stay and continue building here. but I'd like to understand if there's any path to getting my compensation to a competitive level. Asterisk, this framing is honest, non-threatening, and gives your employer the opportunity to retain you. It signals that you have options without making an ultimatum. Be prepared for any outcome. When you reveal a competing offer, three things can happen. They match it, they don't, or they tell you to take the other offer. All three are useful information about how your employer values you, and you should be prepared to act accordingly on each. The counteroffer trap. If your employer counters with a matching offer, consider carefully before accepting. Research suggests that a significant percentage of people who accept counteroffers leave within a year anyway, either because the underlying reasons they were looking, limited growth, poor culture, difficult manager, haven't changed, or because the relationship with their employer has subtly shifted. A counteroffer solves the immediate compensation problem, but may not solve the bigger picture. Part 5. Negotiating as a freelancer or self-employed. Chapter 12. Freelance rate negotiation. If you're self-employed, freelancing, or running any kind of service business, you are negotiating your income with every single client engagement. And most freelancers, especially early in their careers, chronically underprice their work. Why freelancers undercharge? The same psychological barriers apply: fear of rejection, imposter syndrome, not knowing market rates. But freelancers have an additional challenge. There's no external structure validating your price. An employee can point to market data for a specific role. A freelancer is pricing something more bespoke, more ambiguous, and more personal. The result: most freelancers set rates based on what feels safe or reasonable to them, which is almost always lower than what the market will actually bear. How to set and negotiate freelance rates. Research market rates for your specific service. Platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, TopTal, and industry-specific job boards show what clients are paying for your type of work. Talk to other freelancers in your field. The Freelancers Union and various industry communities are valuable resources. Price on value, not time. Hourly pricing commoditizes your work and penalizes efficiency. A client hiring you to write website copy doesn't care how many hours it takes, they care what the copy is worth to their business. When you can, price on deliverables and outcomes rather than hours. The anchoring principle for freelancers: always quote higher than your target. You will almost always be negotiated down, so your starting number needs to leave room. If your target is $3,000 for a project, quote $3,800. If they accept immediately without negotiating, you know you started too low. Handling: that's over our budget. This is the most common pushback freelancers receive. A few responses: asterisk, I understand budget is a consideration. Can you share what you had in mind? I want to see if there's a way to make this work. Asterisk, this opens the conversation without immediately conceding. Asterisk, at that budget, here's what I could deliver. Reduced scope. To get the full scope we discussed, we'd need to be at your price. Asterisk, scope reduction is a legitimate way to meet a lower budget without devaluing your rate. Asterisk, that's below what I'm able to do this for, but I'd be happy to refer you to someone who might be a better fit at that level. Asterisk, walking away from underpriced work is a legitimate and often strategically correct choice, especially as your reputation and demand grow. Raise your rates regularly. Freelancers who never raise their rates gradually fall behind the market, and their rates signal their perceived value. A simple approach: raise rates for new clients annually, and notify existing clients of rate increases with 30 to 60 days notice. Most good clients will accept a modest increase. Those who don't were probably not worth retaining long-term. Part 6. Advanced Strategies and Putting It All Together. Chapter 13. Advanced Negotiation Principles. For those who want to go deeper, here are some of the most powerful principles from negotiation research and practice. Anchoring: set the frame first. The first number in any negotiation has disproportionate influence on the outcome. Research by Adam Galinsky at Columbia Business School shows that the final negotiated outcome consistently tracks toward the initial anchor regardless of how extreme it is. Implication: when you have the opportunity to name a number first and you're well prepared, do it. Set a high anchor. The negotiation will gravitate toward it. The power of silence: we mentioned this earlier, but it deserves emphasis. After making an ask, silence feels unbearable. The instinct is to fill it, to qualify your ask, to backpedal, to add, but I'm flexible, before they've even responded. Resist this instinct completely. State your number. Stop talking. Look at them expectantly. Whoever speaks first after an offer is made is almost always at a disadvantage. Let them respond, mirror and label. From Chris Voss's work on FBI hostage negotiation, these two techniques are extraordinarily effective in salary conversations too. Mirroring repeat the last 1 to 3 words of what someone says as a question. They say, "We just don't have the budget for that." You say, "Don't have the budget?" This invites them to elaborate, reveals information, and buys time without committing you to anything. Labeling name what you observe them experiencing. It sounds like budget is a real constraint right now. It seems like there's some flexibility in the overall package even if base is fixed. Labels demonstrate empathy, build rapport, and often prompt the other person to clarify or even concede. Get everything in writing. Verbal commitments about future raises, review timelines, bonus structures, and equity vestings have a way of being forgotten or reinterpreted over time. After any negotiation that involves future commitments, send a follow-up email summarizing what was agreed. This protects both parties and ensures alignment. Don't negotiate against yourself, a common self-sabotage pattern. Before you've even made your ask, you mentally anticipate their objections and preemptively lower your number. I was going to ask for $90,000, but they'll probably say that's too much, so I'll ask for $82,000. Stop. Make your full ask. Let them make the objections, if they have them. You'll often be surprised. Chapter 14. Building a career-long negotiation strategy. Negotiation isn't just a skill for specific moments, it's an ongoing career strategy. Job hop strategically. Research consistently shows that switching jobs is the fastest path to significant salary increases. People who stay at the same company for decades often earn 10 to 20% less than their market value, as annual raises rarely keep pace with what the market pays for their growing skills and experience. This doesn't mean job hopping every year. That has its own costs in terms of relationships, reputation, and equity vesting. But staying alert to the market and being willing to move every 3 to 5 years for a significant step up in compensation is a legitimate and financially powerful career strategy. Invest in skills that increase your market value. Every skill you develop that is in high demand increases your BATNA, which strengthens every future negotiation. The person whose skills are rare and valuable negotiates from a fundamentally different position than someone easily replaceable. Identify the skills in your field that command a premium and invest deliberately in building them. Build your reputation and visibility. In many fields, your reputation precedes you into negotiations. People who are known through writing, speaking, community contribution, social media presence, or simply an outstanding track record attract opportunities and negotiate from positions of strength that anonymous candidates can't access. Invest in your professional reputation as a long-term negotiating asset. Negotiate at every career inflection point. Promotion, new role, expanded responsibilities, relocation, company acquisition. Every significant career change is a negotiation opportunity. Many people accept changes without negotiating because the change itself seems like the reward. But a promotion that doesn't come with a commensurate salary increase, a relocation without a cost of living adjustment, or new responsibilities without new compensation are all opportunities missed. Track your compensation relative to the market annually. Once a year, spend an hour researching what your role is currently paying in the market. If there's a significant gap, you have the information you need to have a conversation. Don't wait years for the gap to widen while doing nothing. Let's bring this all together. We've covered an enormous amount of ground, from the psychology of why negotiation feels hard to the specific words to use in every scenario. Let me give you the essential takeaways. Negotiation is a skill, not a personality trait. Every aspect of it is learnable, practicable, and improvable. The discomfort you feel is normal and it diminishes with practice. The cost of not negotiating is staggering. Over a career, the gap between people who negotiate and those who don't can approach 7 figures. That's not hyperbole, it's math. Preparation is everything. Know your market value. Know your target, your BATNA, and your reservation price. Build your case with specific, quantified accomplishments. Walk in knowing your numbers cold. The words matter. Based on my research, I was expecting something closer to X. Is there flexibility? Is a complete negotiation opener. It's specific, warm, non-confrontational, and effective. You don't need elaborate scripts, you need a clear, well-reasoned ask delivered calmly. Silence is power. Make your ask. Stop talking. Let them respond. This is harder than it sounds and more powerful than almost any other technique. Negotiation extends beyond salary. Signing bonuses, equity, remote work, professional development, review timing, PTO, every element of your compensation package is potentially negotiable. Build a career-long strategy. Stay current on your market value. Invest in high-demand skills. Be willing to move for significant step-ups. Negotiate at every inflection point. Here's what I want you to do after this video. Before you close this tab, write down one negotiation you've been avoiding or delaying. A raise conversation you've been putting off. A job offer you're about to accept without countering. A freelance rate that hasn't changed in 2 years. Write it down. Then schedule it. Give it a date. The conversation that feels the most uncomfortable is usually the one worth the most money. You now have everything you need to have it. Thank you for watching. Share this with someone who's leaving money on the table, which, honestly, is most people. Leave a comment with the negotiation you're going to have. Saying it here makes it real. See you in the next video.